right? So if we look at intent, right? If we look at intent, that means that we're going to eat carbs to trigger a sympathetic response. That's going to be the idea. So I'm not going to have carbs for anything else but to trigger here. Right. So the higher glycemic the carb, the higher the sympathetic response. Right? That was the idea. That's very important because that means if we look at movement, that means if I run 2 hours, it's not the same thing as pushing the sled for 10 seconds. It is not the same sympathetic response at all. Do I want to basically go start Murph like I start Fran? You could try. I don't think it's going to work, right? So the sympathetic response is different, right? So that means the carbs that I consume will have a different impact on the sympathetic side. The higher the glycemic, the higher the sympathetic response, the less I can produce, the less I can digest, right? So it works the other way as well. The second I have high glycemic carb, they start to digest in the mouth. That means they're already being absorbed right away. I'm going to have a faster reaction in sympathetic, and I need less digestion. Why? Because when the bear is coming, I don't have time. I need all the energy available as fast as possible. That's what the sympathetic is for. The lower the glycemic, that means the more time I'm going to need to process it, right? So there's going to be a relationship between the kind of workout that I'm going to have and the glycemic index of the carbs I need to get based on what happened. By the way, once I'm done with the workout, where do I want to be? Do I still want to be in sympathetic? No, what do I want to do? I want to heal or at least calm down, right? So should I have carbs after I train then? Here comes the problem. Now I'm eating for what happened instead of for what's coming, right? So I have protein, right? And protein is basically for rest and healing, basically. Cicatrization, healing. That's what it's for, really, for recovery. Let's call it recovery, whatever you want to call it. So that means I need to be on that side, right? On the parasympathetic side when I have protein. So now, that means that I absorb protein. First of all, I can't have carbs, right? Because I need to be able to digest it to the best of my abilities. That means being in parasympathetic. Right. So that means that for the next hour, 2 hours, until I'm done digesting it, I have to be in a calm state, resting, because I'm supposed to recover. Does that sound like work to you? Does that sound like I can be at work and be in that state? No. Can I be on social media and be in that state and getting all pissed off at Trump or some shit like that? Right? Does that work? Okay. So does that mean can I have protein right before I go back to work? Because I'm going to have 2 problems. Either I go there and I'm like, for 2 hours after lunch, right? Or I need to drive myself in sympathetic to go back to work. Because work is, I have to actually start moving my ass, right? So what happens if I get to work and I need to go like this again? Then I need to switch myself back to sympathetic. And that means here comes the digestion of the protein being compromised. So now I did not put the fuel in the car that I need to use. Yeah.
What about the daytimes? It's proven that at around 3 p.m.ish,
yes,
like the body temperature goes down. This is also what gets you the calmer.
Yeah.
How do you get?
No, so that means that you have lunch, right? Exactly for that cortisol spike and all that stuff. But then you're supposed to not work for an hour or 2.
Absolutely. When you go to work, you eat. You're like, okay.
I'm done. Yeah. So basically, the Spanish have it right. Yeah. Right? You get to lunch, you pound protein, which is what they do, and then you rest for 2 hours, and then you go back to work. All right. So I'm all for that. But if that's not your life, we're going to have to deal with it. Again, if you can change your life around what would be better for you, that's awesome. I'm all for it. That is not realistic. Some people will not be able to do that. Welcome to Western lifestyle, right? So we're going to have to deal with it. Right? So evolution gave us circadian rhythm that we're not following. All right, then we have to deal with it. We're going to have to change the way we eat then. And that might not be based on what's best for us, but it's going to be about what's best on what we're doing. Fortunately, what we're doing is not always based on what's best for us. That is not, my job is to make it work.
So the best for this would be like
the Spanish system
at that time.
No question. So I try that, right? I'm in Portland and I have the seminar And I got a little bit of ceviche, right? Just shrimps and everything to see. And I gave myself 45 minutes to rest. It was not enough, not nearly close to enough. For an hour and a half, I was like, I felt awesome all morning, and I'm crashing at the seminar. So it stressed the fuck out of me. Because I'm like, I need to get the energy back up. I need to switch to sympathetic. That means I did not, so I didn't, that puts me into freeze. I'm going to get into a list, but like basically ruined my state. Because that's not what I needed. Would it be better to be able to do that? Yes, but I can't take a 3-hour break for lunch at my seminars. So I'm going to have to deal with it.